Hey MicroHealth, and welcome back to Wellness Wednesdays. At the end of this video, you are going to be able to have some tips and tricks in your back pocket, so if you have lower back pain, you'll know exactly what you should be doing to fix it. This is an important video because if you have lower back pain, it could cause stress throughout the day, can cause a lot of mood swings, and you might not be able to do what you want. So by the end of this video, what we want is for you guys to have those tools to be able to feel good throughout the day, increase your mood, and understand that when it comes to lower back pain, sometimes it is preventable. The first idea here is going to be making sure that we are stretching the areas around our lower back. So a lot of times whenever we have pain, it can be referred, meaning that it comes from a different area that is causing the pain. So if we have lower back pain, a lot of times our hip flexors are very tight, as well as the glutes and the hamstrings. So these areas are going to be something that we really want to focus on stretching. Whenever we spend the whole day sitting, a lot of times the psoas, which is a part of the hip flexor, gets tight. The psoas is the biggest muscle of the hip flexors. It attaches from your lumbar vertebrae to the femur, and this muscle, if it is tight, it can constantly pull your spine forward. So a beginner exercise could be this half kneeling stretch, and then a more advanced exercise, which you can see on the screen as well, is going to be getting into something called a runner stretch. Now these are stretching the hip flexors, they are also stretching a little bit of the surrounding muscles. This is similar with the hamstring exercise as well. We want to make sure that everything in the posterior chain is nice and loose. Here's a modified beginner stretch, reaching down, trying to touch your toes. If you cannot, then you can grab something to elevate the toes with. You can reach down and touch the toes that way. This also isolates the hamstrings a little bit more. A more advanced stretch for the hamstrings could be going into a movement that you see here. And then as for the glutes, you could do a seated figure 4 stretch that's nice and easy, or you could do this lying on the ground. Another stretch, both of these are beginner to intermediate. So when it comes to core, we're going to want to do some stability work, and that can include things like planks, dead bugs, pelvic tilts. You can do many variations of plank, so things where you are just in a stationary position on the forearms or on the hands, but you can also do some more advanced movements where we are getting the obliques involved as well. Things like plank throughs, where you're taking an object, passing it through the body, making sure the hips do not shift. Core stability is really important because it protects our spine. If we have strong muscles around the spine, then we can do a better job of making sure that everything is staying in alignment as well as protecting it. And then another exercise which we can do for people who are beginners and for advanced if we don't practice this a lot. So what you're going to do is you're going to lie on your back, you're going to have your knees bent, and you're going to just press your belly button into the ground here. Now I really want you to squeeze as hard as you can. You're going to hold for about 5 to 10 seconds and then relax. This also helps us with that mind-body connection, so we can understand how we should be bracing the core and what it should feel like whenever we are doing lifts, like deadlifts and squats. When it comes to glute activation, we are talking about the booty. So for this, if you're not doing things correctly, like a squat, or even when we're sitting or when we're walking, then the glutes are not being activated, and instead the back is going to take all of that pressure and all of that impact. So we want to make sure that we are using the glutes the majority of the time when we are exercising. People who also sit a lot have something called glute amnesia, where we do not use the glutes and they are not activated, which can again put that stress on the lower back instead of into the correct muscles. So for this, when we talk about glute activation, we want to do some higher reps. We want to make sure we are activating and feeling a good burn within the glutes. First exercise is a glute bridge. You're going to be lying on your back for this, and what I want you to do is place your feet underneath your knees. From here, you're going to lift the hips up to the ceiling, except I do not want you to arch your back. You're going to make sure that your back is flat, your core is tucked in just like we did with that pelvic tilt, and everything that you should be feeling is in the glutes. So you're squeezing the glutes the whole time, doing many repetitions, or just holding in that position. To make this a little bit more difficult, you can do a single leg glute bridge or some type of single leg exercise, but I'm gonna show you the glute bridge here. From here, you're going to be in the same position. However, you're going to first tuck in your knee to your body. If that still feels easy, then you're going to let that leg out into one straight line, and from here you're going to lift your leg. And now we should be feeling this in this foot that is on the ground. So as for the last tip, we're talking about ergonomics. What I mean by this is that when we are sitting, we're standing, we're walking, that we are moving in the most functionally optimal way. We wanna make sure that we are not arching our lower back or rounding and shrugging the back. We do wanna make sure we are supported so we can relax a little bit. And then from here, keep the shoulders back, making sure our posture isn't too upright, or else we will find that arch in the lower back. The arms and the head should be neutral. The arms are going to be up in a good position where you can type without them being super bent. And then the head is actually very important when it comes to lower back pain. You can set your monitor up so that way it's like eye level. So that way you're not looking down, and that way we're not looking up too high. We're at a pretty neutral position. It keeps less strain in our neck. And then when we're standing, making sure we're not shifting side to side, that we are keeping an upright position, and that we are focusing on engaging the core muscles as we walk or as we stand. This will really help stabilize the spine, taking pressure off of that lower back and putting it more on the muscles like our core and our glutes. And within this, we wanna make sure that we have the right shoes, making sure we have enough support if we're walking around, if we're running. And I suggest that you go see a specialist for this, someone who knows shoes, so you could go to a good running store and tell them that you are having lower back pain, and they should be able to specifically help you with this issue. All right, so now you guys know what you can do in order to decrease lower back pain and hopefully get rid of it. Now, the exercises and the stretches that I gave you are just a tiny little dip into all of the exercises and stretches that you can do in order to help your body feel better. Go out and find that exercise or that stretch that you love the most and share it with us. Comment, you can post a video within the Be.Well Teams chat and have some fun with it. Maybe you think your colleagues would enjoy too. Now, if you value this piece of information, then please like, please comment, and subscribe. This way your coworkers can find these videos easier, and it can help them and hopefully bring them a more holistic and happy, healthy life. All right, see you guys next week. Can't wait for the next Wellness Wednesday with Aria. Bye, guys.